moments will be lost in time. Like tears in
half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Right. Okay, welcome to...
No, you didn't!
Welcome
to Video.
Shut up! Okay, do it. Then you do it.
No, I just wanted to do that over you.
No, you do it. You do it and try not to fuck it up.
You know I will.
You gotta do this perfect. You gotta do this part perfectly and the enamory ad perfectly. I was just trying to take a load off your shoulders, take some weight off your mind. But no, now you gotta fly solo for both of them.
Oh God. Inch is gonna do the enamory ad.
No, I'm not.
No, that's me.
Yeah, you signed up for both.
Well. Fuck. I was gonna say okay.
Listen.
Welcome to Film Runners, the podcast. Fuck. This sucks. I hate it. Are you really going to leave me out to dry? This is all you, right?
Welcome. Shut up. Welcome to Film Runners, the podcast where one of us chooses a movie that at least one of the other people hasn't seen. We watch it and we talk about it. I am Michael. And...
I'm Tim.
Yeah.
I'm Insha.
That's right, we got it right this time.
Yeah, and we are
None of us said
the
a
Film
name
Runners.
None of us said a name that wasn't actually our name. Normally we fuck up and say Doug.
Yeah. This is the fourth take, though. So.
Well, they don't know that. You think I was going to keep all of that in?
No, well, you usually do. You usually
No,
keep
that's not true. Not all of it. No, I'm sure people would be very surprised how much fuck up I actually take out compared to how much fuck up I actually leave in. Yeah.
This was the good take.
Yeah. And then we ruined it by talking about it. Congratulating ourselves. Like idiots.
This episode of Film Runners is sponsored by enamory.com. Fine art, paintings, and other wall stuff from Aaron Samby and Ashley King.
Like a wall stuff?
Use code RUNNERS10 at checkout to get 10% off your first order. What'd they do this week?
Well, this week, I don't know, because this is the first week of November.
That's right. It's Halloween has come and gone. They probably sold out of all of their Universal Monster paintings by now. Or they did. They definitely did.
We're watching in our timeline. We're going to be watching. Insha and I and Aaron and Ashley are going to be watching The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs tomorrow, where they'll show a double feature of horror movies, and Ashley will probably get inspired by at least one of those.
Oh, Ashley has that print of Joe Bob and Darcy.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
There you go. Get yourself some job at enamory.com.
ENAMORY.com. Okay, so this week is...
Do we want to do our new feature first, or do we want to
I think we do it. I think we do that last.
All right, we'll save it for the end. There's a new feature.
Yeah.
Hang it. Listen to the rest of the episode to figure out what it is.
Hang in, listen to the rest.
Hang in. Something good.
Please don't cut it off.
Something good will happen later. You just gotta put up with the rest of it. This is a classic Insha pick this week.
Yes.
Funny you say that. It's almost a replica of how I feel about this movie.
That it's a classic, or you mean you gotta put up with all this to get to the good stuff? Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out, yeah. Insha.
But
I picked Come to Daddy, directed by Ant Timpson. Timpson? Yes.
Tim's son is Cameron.
And it's about a guy named Norval Greenwald who receives a letter from his father and tells him to come to his ocean house because he hasn't seen him in a while. But then he finds out, spoilers for the rest of this episode, he finds out his father is not his father. He also finds out his father smuggled some money and then used it all for his life. And then also two guys kind of want to kill him. And it sucks.
Mm-hmm. And he hadn't seen his father in 30 years.
Yeah, he's been like estranged from his father for like, which sucks. Yeah, that's the movie starring Elijah Wood.
Yeah. This was one neither Tim nor I had seen.
Yeah.
Before.
So
correct. So Insha, who do you initial impressions do you want first?
I guess Michael's. Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, I had heard of this before, hadn't seen it yet. Finally saw it this week, and I really enjoyed it. I had no idea, like, I hadn't read any spoilers or anything about it, so I had no idea the twists that would happen in the story. Like, there are at least two big game-changing ones, at least, that happen, that sort of totally twist what you think the movie is going to be about.
Yeah.
And I think, like, there were some issues I had with the movie. Like, I don't think it was perfect by any means, but especially when I found out this was the guy's first movie, I was very impressed. I enjoyed it.
Tim?
I feel like this movie is a movie of two halves, and there's a good half and a bad half.
Which one did you think was the good half?
The second half of the movie.
Yes, of course, because that's what it was supposed to be. But keep going, I want to hear this.
But I honestly think this movie could have cut out about 30 minutes of the first half and still been a much better movie. Like there was just so much stuff at the beginning that I was just bored halfway through the beginning until the twists finally come, and then it was locked in. But it's like I had to dredge through the first half just to get there.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's how I felt too, like with the first half of it, because even watching it in a theater for the first time, it was like, is this gonna, because it's slowly in the beginning a coming of age story for him, and then all of a sudden it turns into like this mystery, and then it also turns into a full-blown thriller, and then it turns into a revenge story. It turns into so many different aspects or different genres, and it's good in that way, I think. Because the second half has, like, after the dude dies, it also turns into like a supernatural thriller in the smallest of cases. But after he dies and then you find out the father isn't the father, it turns into a completely different movie, which works for it instead of works against it, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I really agree with that point too. Like it kind of had different genres melded in for the first part where it just kept jumping, and when it turned into that, like the whole time I'm watching it, I was like, okay, this is a family drama between him and his dad. And then when his dad dies, it's like, okay, well, now what is this? And then when he's dead and like living with him, okay, so it's like a ghost story or something. So I thought that was neat, but neat is a different word. It kind of reminded me a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn in a way that it's a movie of two halves.
Right.
Yes.
I would disagree with you guys on that. I think there are three very distinct parts to the movie, and I agree with your criticisms on the second part. So I think the first part is sort of like just an awkward drama that's just Elijah Wood and Stephen McHattie like playing off of each other, and I think they're both great, so I was down with that. The second part was the twist where Stephen McHattie has a heart attack while they're fighting and dies. And then he has him in the house, and like he's hearing creepy noises, and like he's got an embalmed dead body there, and it's like, oh, so he's gonna like deal with his emotions about his father, even though his father's dead, but there'll be like a supernatural horror mix. And I think the movie doesn't really take full advantage of that aspect of it. Like, I think it's an interesting idea. Oh, the morgue is full, but once the body's embalmed, like, you can just keep it in the house for a while. Like, that's on its own. That's such a weird and kind of, like, could be interesting aspect of it. But they don't really do much with anything with it, you know?
Yeah.
But then once he finds out, oh, no, actually, that's not my dad. My dad is Martin Donovan, who's being held hostage underneath the house. It shifts gears until the end of the movie. And I agree that that's the better part. But if I had to, like, rank them, I think the smallest chunk, which is, I think, after his dad, or after Stephen McHattie has the heart attack and before he finds his dad, is the smallest chunk. And that's the part I didn't like the most. Because I just really liked Stephen McHattie being an awful drunk and Elijah Wood being an annoying douchebag and them like bouncing off each other.
I think that might be why I hated the first part of the movie so much, is because like I didn't like either of those characters. Like I just I hated both of them, and not in a like endearing sort of, oh, this, you know, you love to hate them. No, I literally just was just like, why do I want to invest any more time into these two characters?
They were just both
they're awful.
Yeah. They are awful, but it was endearing to me in a way, because I thought the performers did a good enough job that I was like, yeah, I'll watch these, because I assumed something would happen eventually other than them arguing with each other, because I did sort of vaguely know it was a horror or a thriller or whatever, so I assumed something else would kick in, so I was just enjoying them vibing for the first bit. Speaking of, so it's very funny because I love Stephen McHattie. He's a Canadian actor who pops up in a bunch of stuff. Like, almost every 90s genre TV show had him in it if it filmed in Canada. And I was kind of bummed when he died, because I was like, oh shit, are we not going to get to see any more of him? But then Martin Donovan, who plays Elijah Wood's real dad, and Michael Smiley, who plays one of the people trying to get the money from the dad, both sort of replace him, and they're just as good too. Like, I love the energy Martin Donovan brings to it, where he's very casual about explaining all this like fucking mind-boggling shit to Elijah Wood, and also immediately after not seeing him for 30 years just can barely hide his disappointment that Elijah Wood isn't adept at killing people, like picking locks or whatever.
I do agree,
So I think all the parts had really good character actors in them, so I was glad about that.
It is.
See, I didn't like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I honestly did not like Stephen McHattie more than Elijah Wood. Like he did a good job of playing like that alcoholic, always drunk sort of character, and I thought like his acting was really good. But like, I don't know, I thought he was the worst part of it. Like I don't know if it was the writing or just how his character, maybe I just was because he was so mean to Elijah Wood, but very mean. But like I could at least, I don't know, because
he wasn't even supposed to really be in that position in the first place. Like, he kind of says on the phone like he's just a glorified babysitter by this point, and then he also has like, I ended up liking his character this watch because I never noticed his backstory before. Like, his backstory is the same as Norval's.
I was going to say it would be an extremely interesting movie to watch a second time and think of how confused and annoyed Stephen McHattie's character, like thinking he's the dad who did write him a letter.
Yeah.
You're like, why is he being such an aggressive prick right away?
Yeah.
But then when you think of it from his point of view, Gordon, I think the character's name is, from Stephen McHattie's point of view, this kid just like fucking shows up out of nowhere, and then he has to like pretend to be his dad for no reason, and the kid's annoying and not fun at all. Doesn't even drink, so of course he's an asshole too.
And then like he also has like that, I didn't notice it at first, but like he has that backstory with Ryan, where he has that like tattoo, Ryan R.I.P. And then Martin Donovan's character later on says, oh yeah, Ryan slit his wrist and he was a good kid, and that's the same exact thing that Norval did. So it's kind of just like, I feel like in Gordon's mind, he's just like, this kid has so much privilege with all this stolen money and this good dad, and I just want to bust him up, and I just can't.
It's really funny now that I think, yeah, you're right. Like, I was thinking about that aspect too. It's like, okay, so he knows that they were rich because of the was it bank robbery that they just did?
No, they
No, it
stole
was,
a
kidnapping.
Yeah, they stole
Kidnapping.
somebody.
Oh yeah, that's kidnapping. So like to see this guy with like the 20th phone, only one of the 20 phones in the world or something like that, and knows that that's his money that's being spent, would have been an interesting aspect to kind of
For sure.
see on the second watch.
And like how annoying. So that's the worst part. Him describing the phone. I was like, "Fuck off, Elijah Wood." his obnoxious haircut and mustache and clothes. And then when he starts, I'll cut it in. But when he starts describing what he does, like how famous he is.
I'm fairly big in the music business.
Well, I bet you are. What are you? A singer or something?
Well, I'm not someone you can pigeonhole, if I'm completely honest. Do I DJ? Yes. Do I produce blazing beats? Yes. Do I tinkle the ivories? Yes. Do I promote high-profile events pertaining to music and the performance of music? Yes.
Okay.
It's so obnoxious. Like that asking himself questions and then answering it bit. And he says he's like, he makes beautiful beats or...
yeah,
I know, I can't remember what he says, but I just wanted to throttle. And I was so glad when his quote-unquote dad called his bluff about knowing Elton John.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
But yeah, I did. So I thought, especially for coming in like halfway through the movie, I was impressed with how good Martin Donovan was at instantly characterizing Brian, like the actual father, and being such a distinct presence in the movie.
Yeah, like when he shows up, it changes the movie into what it's actually supposed to be, and it's like, oh, where were you all this time? But it would have been the same thing, I think, if they kept Gordon alive, which now that I think about it is really sad, because I actually kind of did like him, thinking about this on the third watch.
Now you're sad that the like total asshole. So what did you when you were watching it and there was I guess we find out that he's not the dad before Elijah Wood goes down into the
because
basement
he
dungeon or whatever.
he has a photo album.
Yeah. Still, I definitely didn't expect the father to be being held underground.
That was a pretty cool, like, it kind of makes you think about the house too. Like, he's a criminal, so I guess of course he would have a hatch where he can lock it, like a hidden hatch where he can put all his riches in.
It was such a cool house. Like, I bet they were really excited if that was a real place they found and not something they built. I bet they were really... Obviously, the hatch didn't exist in the house, but...
Right.
Just the house itself was really cool and, like, distinct. Like, I always think... I recently watched a horror movie called Girl on the Third Floor, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about a guy, like, renovating a house, and it's a really old house with, like, various different wallpapers and old shit, and, like,
wood paneling and
dumb waiters and whatnot. And apparently it was a house that the director they had purchased to be their new production headquarters, and they liked the setting so much they halted the renovation to shoot a movie to shoot that movie there, using it in its like sort of torn down state.
That's awesome.
So I always think that when I see cool houses in films, because I'm like, man, they must have been really fucking jazzed when they saw something that cool to work with. So what did you think of, I guess I'm asking Tim, what did you think of Michael Smiley's character?
The Weird Al ass looking motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I liked him, and I thought he played that, idiot thug character well. Yeah, I mean, no, I liked him as a character.
Now, I will say, one thing I hated, the poop pen.
Yeah, I did not like that at all.
The poop pen wasn't nice.
But that's such interesting science, though.
Well, is it interesting science, or is it just, yeah, you probably shouldn't get shit in your cuts?
I mean, a little bit of both.
Well, more of that and less of interesting science. Like, if you actually learned that from this movie, then I question any sort of medical knowledge you've ever had in your entire life.
We've already talked about the school that she used to go to, so I think that just says all it needs to.
Yeah. Teachers too busy fucking their students to actually teach them not to rub shit in open wounds.
Don't you guys think that maybe like there's a lot of this movie that could have been cut? Like his, like I was just thinking like him, the whole relationship with the coroner kind of went nowhere and did nothing.
Yes.
Besides kind of swerve you into thinking that maybe it's going to go into that direction or something like that.
I do agree with that. I would say out of the parts in the movie, I think that's even though I thought his interaction with her when she first got there was good, same with his interaction with the cop beforehand. I thought they were just funny little bits.
Yeah, the one with the raisin, about the raisin eyes?
Yeah, the little raisin eyes. Killer's raisin eyes. It's very Curb Your Enthusiasm when Larry David stares people down to see if they're killers.
You don't have raisin eyes.
What?
Yeah, I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall here, but I got this theory. Bad guys have eyes that look like raisins. You know, small and dark, you know? But you don't have raisin eyes.
No, I don't.
Oof. Tell you something, though. Your daddy, he did have raisin eyes.
Like, I liked the initial meeting with her, and then I agree, it felt like a waste of time. But I don't think that was a lot of it. Like, isn't the movie only like 90 minutes?
It is only 90 minutes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's got to be what, 2-3 minutes total?
Well,
like the drunk phone call, and then like the second time she's there?
I just gave that as one example. I think there's more.
Yeah, but also, how much more of this 90? I just didn't feel like a stretch to me, so I have no problem with the length.
And I guess that's my argument, is that if they would have cut it down, it could have just been a TV episode of, I don't know, Black Mirror, and it would have been fine. Like, it seemed like they had a cool concept and a cool story, and I don't know if they had enough time to fill an entire 90-minute movie.
This has 3 separate parts in it. This seems pretty filled as a movie. Like, it takes so many different genres and just, like, squeezes them all in together. But I do see what you mean about, like, the stuff with the coroner. And I think even, I don't know, man. Even, like, the credits in the beginning take up, like, a minute and something. So I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that I don't think they could cut anything, because then I don't know if it'd be classified as a movie at that point.
Yeah. But like, it would kind of just be like 2 halves of a different whole.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood is in a movie called Grand Piano, and I want to look up the runtime because it's incredibly short, but it's also very good. Of course, I should have known Googling Grand Piano was a movie. So stupid.
You say Elijah Wood's in that too?
Yeah, he plays like it's like a tense thriller where he is performing at some fancy place because he's like a famous pianist, and somebody has hijacked his like the what's it called, the monitor in his ear, and tells him to keep playing no matter what because a famous person who's there is going to be killed on a certain beat or something like that.
Ooh.
So like he's basically stuck performing, and then he takes like breaks backstage occasionally or something, and he tries to figure out how to like get warning or something. Yeah, John Cusack plays the guy in his ear. Oh, it says 90 minutes, but I think without credits it's like 85 5 or something, and it's a really tight thriller that you probably like a lot better.
Right. But I mean, I'm not opposed to. I'm not opposed to having like a family. Like I like the idea, the overall concept of having like this family drama in the beginning and turns into, an action thriller on the second half. Like that sounds like a really cool concept. And if somebody was pitching to me that in the executive studio, I'd say yeah, good. I just don't think the family drama was
Think
good.
It's like underwritten, or they just didn't do a good enough job of making it interesting on its own. You're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like if they were to, I mean. And that could, I don't know if that was down to writing, because I think the acting was very good. It just, I don't know. To me, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I don't know. It worked for me. I don't know. It didn't feel like it dragged in any way at all. I agree, especially the coroner thing. That's one of my notes, is that her character just kind of went nowhere. So the first scene with her was funny and, character-wise, it worked. But then the rest of them sort of feel like wasted scenes, because we didn't learn anything new. We just sort of got a couple extra scenes with her.
Yeah.
And I think they already established Elijah Wood's character as being a kind of dweepy dork earlier in the film. So why?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
We should talk, because we're still talking about the beginning of the movie. We should talk about the John Wick scale. Because
Here's the thing. I was waiting. I was on the lookout when I watched it, because I was like, if it happens, it's going to be very egregious for sure. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the reaction. And then I think halfway through, I totally forgot to even pay attention for it. Does anyone say come to daddy?
Does.
Oh yeah.
Do they? When?
It's like when he's holding
got
the
butcher
creamer.
knife.
Yeah. He's like, come to daddy.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Oh yeah. It was not.
Was it egregious?
It was pretty egregious, but not.
What? It was not.
Oh.
It was. I don't think it was, because I missed
was
it. I didn't even
not.
notice it.
Oh. I was giving this a 6 on the John Wick scale. So above
That's
Insidious, below Face Off.
Okay. Because I expected it, when I was waiting for it to happen, I was like, if it happens, it's getting a 9 or 10, I'm sure. I'm sure. So
No.
that does seem fair. Yeah, I can see why I missed it, because I was expecting something like big. Like, I was expecting a big pop. So it's 6.
6.
I don't think it should be ranked that high.
What would you give it? You think this is less egregious than Insidious?
Do they say Insidious and Insidious? They do. Like once.
Yes.
Yeah, we went over it.
Yeah. What's her name says it while she's explaining the ghosts.
See, I give this like less points because it's actually funny and awesome
It is funny.
and good. So I would give it like a 4 or 5.
All right.
Because he says it,
I
but it
respect
makes
your
you
number,
laugh.
but it's a 6. I
think your
I did
scale's
laugh. I did laugh out
dumb.
loud as soon as I heard it.
Okay, so we should talk about the second half of the movie, which turns into a
Heist movie?
a gory action comedy of errors, kind of, where Elijah Wood finally works up the nerve to kill someone in a grotesque way. Just absolute brutal kills at the end of this movie.
Oh yeah.
So when he rescues his dad, the very funny scene, I laughed so hard when he crushes the poop pen to try to pick the lock on the chain that Martin Donovan's chained to. Then Martin Donovan's casually like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to like break it." And he's like, "What?" Like, come on. So he does it. Then he breaks his finger too. And then it's still not working. And then they follow the chain hung up to the wall and like the length of chain going to the other side of the wall, and it's just looped onto like an eye hook or something. Yeah, which is very funny. So then they go upstairs, and what was the guy's name? Dandy? What was
Was taking a shit. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but this huge dude was there, and Elijah Wood has to kill him, and it's gross and funny. Tim, how does he kill him?
He takes a meat fork and stabs him in the balls a bunch of times, and then he takes some saran wrap and wraps it around his face so he suffocates.
Yeah. Weirdly, when he did the saran wrap thing, it felt like too much to me.
Yeah, right. Because he had already lost some teeth from the fight, or maybe pre-fight. But he like to see him sucking in and out the air and it like moving up against the gaps in his teeth was very unsettling.
Yeah, especially, and like I get the ball stabbing because Elijah Wood was like in the middle of being attacked at that point, and it's like he was desperate, obviously.
Yeah.
But once he did that, I was like, well, stick the fork in his neck and he's done. But he grabs plastic wrap and suffocates the motherfucker, which is insane. But again, visually very funny.
Yeah. And then Elijah Wood and his dad go leave, and they live happily ever after. No, the Weird Al guy comes with a flaming crossbow.
Yeah, I'm bummed we never get to see him use that.
No, I thought so too. Like even when Elijah Wood hopped into the back of the truck, you saw like there was just other arrows in the truck, and I was like, oh, he's gonna stab him to the back or whatever. No, nothing ever happens with that crossbow.
It looked cool though. Yeah, so then they're just gonna escape, but Elijah Wood remembers he left his bag in the house, and the Weird Al looking motherfucker finds the address tag and says he's gonna go to LA and kill Elijah Wood's mother. But first he has to make a detour to his motel room to get choked out by a sex worker. I think.
Yeah, I didn't really.
I thought she was just a chiropractor, but also a sex worker.
No, I think it was like a BDSM thing.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of chiropractors you go to, but usually you don't lay on the floor with them while they choke you out from behind.
Yeah. And usually you go to their office. They don't come to a seedy motel room filled with. I missed this part. Like sex-crazed geologists. Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah, because when Elijah Wood talks to the guy who runs the place, who I thought was also very funny in a little small role, I thought he had the right sort of vibe.
I'd like to rent a room, please.
No. The whole motel is booked up, what with the geology conference in town.
Geology conference?
Yeah, it's really a swingers convention. I shit you not, I have a whole motel full of flabby sex people just doing whatever they do. But we do have one family unit available, but it's further down the road.
I'd prefer a room here.
Yeah, I bet you would prefer a room here, but as I already said, there are geologists in every room of the motel, bar none. The one that is available is a family unit some distance away. Now, would you like to rent said family unit, or do you want to keep doing what we're doing here?
Maybe later.
Okay. Maybe later. I know.
There's a geology conference in town, so the motel, all the rooms are booked in the motel, and they're full of just freaky fucking by geologists.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Like I heard them talk about it 2 or 3 times, and both times like I gotta be like I'm missing something.
Yeah,
I missed a word or whatever.
Because then when Elijah Wood's like sneaking around, he steals the what are those things called that you poke like checks and shit onto and receipts? Like a little
is it called like a
metal
bill tower or something like that? I don't remember what they're called.
Something like that.
Yeah, you put the restaurant orders on it when they get delivered to the table.
Oh.
It's called.
What do you mean? Oh, you never seen that happen before?
No, I have. I was just like, oh, that's what it's called. Sorry.
The Wikipedia entry for the film seems to call it a check spindle.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never.
No, it doesn't really spin a lot, so I don't know why it'd be a spindle.
Was that what spindle means?
Isn't spindle
Yes.
like one of those things to make wool? So it has the big wheel that spins, like a spinning needle. Spindle.
Wait,
that's a spinning
I was
wheel.
saying, are you talking about the things that you put the orders on, or you just slap the orders down on with the needle?
No, you don't slap them down or you impale your hand. You put them down. It's the thing. Okay, a spindle is a rod used for spinning and then winding natural fibers, usually consisting of a shaft and a circular whorl, positioned at either the upper or lower end of the shaft when suspended vertically from the forming thread. So a spindle just sounds like a pokey stick. A spinning wheel is the wheel part. I think a spindle must. No, I don't know if a spindle even goes on it. Now I see a question. What's the difference between balusters and spindles? And we're not getting into this. We're not getting into that. Anyway.
Yeah.
he steals that, and he very smartly pops Weird Al looking motherfucker's tires, right?
Yep.
And then he's sneaking into the adjoining room to like sneak up on him, and there are 3 or 4 naked, passed out geologists on the bed, and he's trying to sneak in, which is funny.
So that's what So he tries to go into the one person's room, and into Weird Al's room, but there's the chain on the door. And it's one of those connecting rooms, I guess. But like he goes 2 or 3 doors down to get there.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't notice the geography of it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anyways.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Unless they had a connecting bathroom.
What does that mean?
That happens.
Well, they didn't. The door connecting it. Oh, wait, no. Maybe there was.
It's also weird that a motel room...
but why would there be an outside door to the bathroom?
That's very true. I mean,
I don't know. It just sounds like they fucked up how many doors he had to walk.
No. But it's also weird that like a motel would have a connecting, like a 2 connecting rooms.
No, I've been to a motel with adjoining rooms.
A motel?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I stand corrected.
I think it's usually like corner rooms, but I may be wrong. I don't know why, but yeah, no, I have been to them. I've like worked jobs where during the week we stayed in motels, and there was usually at least one room with an adjoining room.
So then we see Weird Al getting choked out.
Yeah.
And it sounded like I thought they were in on it together. The choking out lady and Weird Al.
You think, right?
I think she was just well, I think what it is, I actually kind of liked her little arc. I do think the fact that the naked foreign geologist and her were okay with him stabbing Elijah Wood for way too long seemed weird.
Right.
But I did get her initial, because from what she thinks, this guy is a creep, because he like accosted her on her way into the room, and she just seems to naturally have anger problems. But Elijah would accost her on her way into the room, and then he breaks into the room later. So I get why she would physically restrain him, but I agree that it takes too long for her to realize, holy shit, like he's killing Elijah. Yeah.
And then
also it was very funny when the Weird Al looking motherfucker, so he takes the, we'll say, spindle from him, stabs him a couple times in the stomach or chest or something, and then he rams it right through his cheek.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. The same thing. That was the worst part of that entire thing. It was
terrible. And so then they think Elijah was dead because they think she choked him out too hard and he died. But he comes to, and then follows the Weird Al looking motherfucker. And it took me a while, or it didn't take me a while, but I was like, oh, why isn't he like taking that out of his cheek? And then when we see that the Weird Al looking motherfucker got in a car accident and is like walking down the road with part of his skull missing and his brain showing, it clicked in my head why Elijah Wood's character never took it, like why the filmmakers made him never take it out of his cheek, and I was like shutting my eyes when it happened.
Oh yeah, that goes in soft and buttery smooth.
And so the sound effect was so gross. So Elijah Wood, so the guy's just babbling because he's clearly like dying. Then Elijah Wood casually takes the spindle out of his cheek and like slowly sinks it into the guy's exposed brain. It's fucking disgusting.
And the eye roll that he does when he dies for that was so good.
It was good. It was
that is exactly what I think the reaction of a man losing all brain life would be, is just like half opened eye, and then his eyes, like half opened eyelid, eyes roll back and just like crumple on the floor.
What did he say when he died?
Arthur.
What is
I
that?
don't know.
we just don't know. That's just his dying brain snapping for one more time. Yeah, it was a good ending, I thought. And the actual ending, like, once he goes back and sits with his father and they have a little moment. Well, he kind of has a little moment. His dad's pretty unresponsive. that poop pen's working its magic already.
Do poop pens work that quickly? Like, that was less than 24 hours.
I mean, he said he was going to get an infection, so... Ooh.
I don't think it'll happen that fast. But, I mean, he's been through a lot anyway, so... Yeah. He also did get, like, stabbed in the chest with a pen. Regardless of whether it was covered in poop,
after also being, having to eat his own ear.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that conversation. That was so funny. That's so funny when they're talking about that. And then Elijah Wood's just like, you know, semen has more protein than you.
And then Martin Donovan is just like, the cum was yellow.
It's so funny. I think that's the hardest I laughed during the movie.
Ugh.
Yeah, because the first time he sort of Martin Donovan loses his cool is when he's like, well, can't we get the ear reattached to it? Martin Donovan's like, it's gone, we can't do that. And he's like, why? And he's like, well, because I ate it. He's so shit.
And then a little bit later, he has the same sort of thing, and he's like, "They've been starving me for days." Like,
yeah, it's great because you can tell he's like, yeah, it was fucked up. He doesn't want to talk about it. But yeah, so at the very end, when we see like Martin Donovan is sort of non-responsive to Elijah Wood when Elijah Wood's talking, it ends with him like just barely moving his hand and grabbing Elijah Wood's. I thought it was weirdly touching for such a goofy, gory movie with a poop pen in it and ball stabbing with it. I thought they sold that moment really well.
yeah, and I think it worked well because like you saw his eyes move for a second, and then they, while Elijah Wood is talking, and then they stop moving, and he's like, "Oh, okay, he died. That's too bad." And then they end it with like him moving, so you're just like, "Okay, well maybe he's not dead, or maybe they died at the same time. I don't know," but it gives you that kind of it's a nice happy ending, and then you're still wondering what happened after.
Yeah.
I do want to know, so let's say best case scenario, the mother shows up because she was flying out there or whatever, right?
Right.
So let's say that was the day she was supposed to show up. She finds them both and gets an ambulance there, and they make it out alive. How does Martin Donovan explain the missing ear and the poo wound without explaining everything? Like, I always wonder that in movies, because also, how can Elijah Wood explain stalking the guy and killing him?
Right, because the hotel man is going to be a witness.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they'll find the guy dead with a fucking check spindle in his brain, and they'll be like, well, something happened here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ultimately it doesn't matter because the movie's over.
But I mean,
I do think it's funny to like avoid throughout. Although I guess they didn't have cell phones either. That's why they didn't really go to any authorities. But it's funny to avoid that, and then it's like, well, it kind of sounds like you're going to be under a lot of suspicion anyway, Martin Donovan.
It's funny that they it's fun that they established that continuity early in the film with the fake dad breaking Elijah Wood's phone, and then obviously the other guy would be held captive. So he's like, okay, well, this is why they just don't call for help.
It is funny in every horror movie set in like the modern day has to have some excuse for why you can't just call for help with your phone. Like, it's always broken, or you're out of juice, or
No signal. No, we're in the woods.
yeah, but even that one they can't really use anymore. That was all over the place in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
That was all over the place. But people are like, no, you can get signal pretty much everywhere now. You can't.
It's not a lot of phone movies lately. Like I remember, like
What does that mean?
but wasn't there like a short, like within like a 2-year window, we got phone booth and cell phone?
Cellular.
Cellular,
Right. To get the, like a couple of years after each other.
Yeah, they were. Hollywood was on a real phone kick back in 2004.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Bring back phone movies, Hollywood. You telling me there isn't a horror movie with a possessed smartphone? Come on.
Oh wait, didn't they have a horror movie where, or maybe I'm just thinking like Catfish. But was there one called Catfish?
But
Yeah,
that's not
that is a phone movie.
Is it? Is it?
It's an internet movie that also includes featuring a phone.
No, not a phone movie. Well, lots of movies feature phones. We're not talking about movies featuring phones. We're talking about phone movies.
But wasn't that like Catfish is a horror movie?
No, it's a documentary.
Well, no, it's a documentary.
No, but
It's
there's
like
a
the show
I'm-
Catfish.
I thought there was like a horror movie like that.
There's one missed
Where-
call.
There are horror movies like that,
But they got
not
like they're
phone
around
movies.
instant messaging.
Yes. Unfriended, The Den, Searching.
Searching is a
That's-
horror movie?
Well, no, it's kind of like a
Okay.
mystery. But it's the
Yeah.
same concept. Like, it's all shot from the POV of a computer, and it uses like social media and shit.
Oh, that new one on Shudder too. I don't know what it's called.
Host. Yeah. Yeah, those are cool. I actually, every movie I mentioned there, I like. I think they're really good. So they're all good ones. But not strictly phone movies, I wouldn't say.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, him. I was like, how did we...
Whatever you want.
I know. How did we get off of this movie onto phones, and now I'm back. So Elijah Wood has picked a lot of out there roles since Lord of the Rings, eh?
Yes, I love
which
it.
is
Right?
the best thing for him, honestly.
I do. Because he doesn't need any more money, because Lord of the Rings. Right?
Yeah.
So he just seems to do what he likes, which is very cool. He produces a lot of like indie horror movies.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. It's
I really liked him in Wilfred.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's good at Wilfred. Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah. And that's like a weird, like, imagine pitching that show to somebody that, like, it's just so far out there. But I like the way he's going with what he's picking.
You know what else he's...
Every time you use an example of like, oh, imagine pitching this to a studio, I can only picture you as a studio executive. You'll be like, I don't know, that's pretty out there. I don't know who's going to watch that. That's wild. What were you smoking when you came up with that one?
You're right, I should be a TV executive.
I mean, you might as well be. I doubt you could do any worse.
Worse than what?
Like everybody.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like my current job.
Your current life. Hey, any career change could only be better. So mean.
I know.
Does anyone else have any notes?
I wrote down one. It was a line in the movie, and I don't remember where it was, so I can't really talk much about it. But it's, I think Elijah Wood says, "I'm not defending my choice to you," and I don't know if that was to him being dead already now. But I remember it being a good line.
Well, I don't know what
Yeah.
part it is, so we can't talk
No,
about
I
it.
know. I wish I would have remembered.
I feel like that was in the beginning.
Yeah, it was definitely in the beginning.
Was it the? Oh, was it the?
It was
alcohol?
after. I think it was after he. I think it was when they were in bed together, like when he was in bed with the dead body.
Oh.
Oh yeah, when he slept next to the dead body.
Oh.
I don't know directly what it was referring to.
I really like the line at the end because I know it comes back later. Like when he's laying in the bed with the dead body, he's like, "I have to tell you something, and it's gonna make me sound like a bad person." And then that comes back later when he's just like, "I have to tell you something," and then he's like, "I never let mom get over you." I was just like, "Ew, that's shockingly sweet."
I never let mom get over you. Every man that came along, I drove him away. She had so many chances to be happy. And I never let her. I always thought you'd come back. And then we pick up where we left off.
Yeah, that really, Elijah Wood really helped sell the ending for me. His like little confession to his dad was very nice.
Yeah. Well, especially if you think about what Weird Al was saying earlier.
This whole episode calling this dude
Not
Weird
even
Al.
Weird Al looking fucker anymore. He's straight up just Weird Al.
When he was had his brain cut out and he was babbling about how Elijah Wood's mom was a prostitute and that even he had sex with her.
That was so rude.
Right? Like, I'm just like, when I heard him say that, I was wondering whether or not what he said was true, which would kind of add an extra layer to it, that maybe Elijah Wood was thinking, oh, okay, if my mother was actually a prostitute, I didn't let her be happy again.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at what I wrecked, so to speak.
Yeah, it was sad. I was glad that, I mean, he went through a lot to realize he was spoiled rich fail son. But I'm glad that at the end you sort of realized that he was a brat, you know, and a douchebag. And I don't even get. So here's a question I have. Do you think he is successful?
No.
Because we know he was lying about Elton John, specifically, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But do you think he's like actually successful in music, or do you think he's just a rich kid who occasionally DJs? Like,
I kind of was in the mindset of like, I think he's just a rich kid who DJs in his mom's house. Like, there had to be some artistic ambitions when he was going through private school and doing all this other stuff, but then it went far off left track because like he doesn't have to do anything. The privilege is just there. So like I don't think that he was he's an artist, but he's an artist in like the slimmest senses.
yeah, like I think he's spent a lot of his mom's money writing and releasing music, but I don't think he's in any way as successful. Like Kendrick Lamar and Chance the Rapper are not his quote unquote guys. I do not believe that.
I was kind of going back and forth on that because the only thing I was remembering was he has one of those limited edition phones. So I was thinking, well, maybe he must.
That. Like if you just if you just wait up for like 7 days outside of an Apple store, you can just get it.
Oh well, no, not every Apple store is gonna have one of these 20.
No, just that Apple.
Only
store.
20 of them. Only what Apple store? What is this Apple store?
Only the Apple store that he goes to that has the limited edition lower phone.
I think the one thing I was thinking is that maybe he has connections some connections so that he could order such a high.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, if he's a rich douchebag in LA, he's gonna have. Like if he wants to spend his money on shit like that, people will find a way to get him the thing to take his money.
All right, fair enough.
Also, I don't even buy if that's one of only 20 that exists in the world.
That's true.
I think he was maybe talking that up too.
Could have just been a phone case.
Yeah, it wasn't even real gold. This motherfucker's a liar. Okay, is it a? Oh, okay. So what we should do? Hit our shit, and then we could do the new segment.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Insha, you go first because you picked it.
It's a hit for me. It has like really good character work. It's super funny. I love Martin Donovan so much. And Elijah Wood's great. Yeah, it's a hit for me. Michael?
Yeah, I will concur and say it's a hit. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's a fantastic debut film from the director, and I think all of the actors in it are very good. Tim?
Yeah, I'll give it a hit as well. I think if you're gonna take a watch, it's gonna be like watching the first episode of a really good show. Sometimes you have to muddle through the waters, and then eventually it has a really good payoff at the end. So stick around and watch it.
I legit thought you were going to say, if you cut out the first 30 minutes of it, then it'll be perfect.
I could say that. I would say that. I agree.
I don't even think you don't mean cut it off. You just mean like rewrite.
Yeah.
Basically. Well, because you missed without the twist. It's
or make something happen.
Yeah, I guess so. Here's the thing: is that like if there's two ways that I could see this movie. Either you cut a bunch of stuff at the beginning so that it goes through, you get to the good stuff quicker, but you still establish he's that sort of douchebag and kind of whatever. Like you establish his character, and maybe you focus less on his dad, his fake dad, and then you're only gonna get like a 60-minute movie. My better thing was to make a family drama between a son and his dad just better. Like they're
yeah, I think that's ultimately what you mean, because like making the first half shorter would lose sort of the effect of when the twist happens, and I think you just mean you wish it was better. You wish it kept you interested.
It's a hit, but I wish it was better.
Like I didn't mind because I liked it, but I'm sure if I didn't like spending time with them, it would be interminable. So I think that's what you mean.
Yep.
You just wish it was written more to your taste, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're introducing a new segment, and we don't have any.
I thought we were going with cameos or
cameo.
nos.
But now I know you're just a cameo. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Now I know you're just a cameo. Oh, oh, oh.
I don't know why you suggested that like twice now. I don't know why it isn't cameos or cameos.
Yeah, cameos sounds great. But I like cameo nose for the shade reasons.
I don't like either of them.
Okay. Cameo you didn't.
Cammy do's and cammy don'ts.
All right, we don't know the name of this segment.
We shouldn't be coming up with it while we're recording it. Just cameos with an exclamation mark.
Perfect.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So in this segment of the show, one of us every week is going to pick an actor or I guess whomever on Cameo, and we're going to discuss quickly their cameo. So guys, on Cameo, you can get a message from actor David Sutcliffe. He was the Rory Gilmore's father in Gilmore Girls, and he was in Under the Tuscan Sun. Have you seen that?
No.
So, how much do you think it would be worth to get a hello from David Sutcliffe?
$50.
Insha.
Did you say he was in Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, he was Rory Gilmore's.
He was Christopher. Was that?
Yeah, that was his name.
Rory's like bio dad.
Oh.
Yeah, not
Who
Luke.
Lorelai completely wrecked her relationship with Luke in that shitty final season by hooking up with Christopher. Don't even give me that.
He might feel important. 80.
All right, you could have a happy birthday, celebration from David Sutcliffe for a cool $69.
Hell yeah. That's so funny. Why did he choose that?
Right? Cameo is a very static numbered platform where most of the people pick a even number, $150, $120. But our boy David picked 69.
Because even I get if you're like a big celebrity and you're and you want to do that department store trick and you make it like $499 instead of $500 to get to make people think they're only paying $400. But 69 is such an odd thing. Like, who quibbles between?
You know why he picked it, but it's
I know.
David Sutcliffe to pick it.
It's like, what about his personality would make that gag make sense?
Right. So I saw there was another actor on here for $69 who's one of the hockey players from Letterkenny.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes
$69, sure, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dumb hockey player making a 69 joke.
It's so funny. He's in a bunch of those Hallmark like TV movies, and the third
Damn right he is.
hashtag on it's actors, hashtag Gilmore Girls, hashtag Hallmark.
So he usually responds within a day. He's had 278 reviews, all 5 stars. Insha, do you think it's worth $69 to get a hello from David?
Honestly, looking at his pictures, no. He looks so...
You know what? Looking at his cameo pictures, he's gone way downhill
He
since.
looks so miserable, dude.
Hey, it's quarantine. Everybody looks like shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, I smile. I don't know.
I would imagine. I don't know where the thumbnail is taken from, but I pictured all of that as like the beginning of the video when you're not sure whether the camera's on yet. So I don't blame him for having a very dour looking face.
I'm gonna blame.
But I think
I'm gonna
even
blame
it's the long hair and beard that's like throwing it up. It hardly looks. He looks like Chris D'Elia.
Yes.
Well, okay, don't bring Chris D'Elia into it. Noted sex pest, Chris D'Elia. David Sutcliffe is not a sex pest as far as we know.
As far as we're aware, he is.
I'm literally scrolling through his cameo right now, and he has like the same dull face throughout the entire thing. No, this is not worth $69.
I think this is unfair because you haven't watched a video. I don't even give a shit about this guy, but it's totally unfair to judge him on the thumbnail. Like, again, maybe that's just his resting face when he's figuring out whether the camera's on.
I just scrolled through his cameo. It's the same docile face.
Like through a video, you scroll through?
Yes, it's the same thing. You can preview some of the cameos.
Yeah, I know you can. I just thought you were scrolling through the pictures of every.
Nope, it's just the same docile face in all the videos. Just no, he got a small smile. Just you get one. Still not worth it.
See, I gotta say it is worth it. I'm sticking up for him now because
$69 is worth it for David?
Yes, because the only people who are going to get it from him are hardcore Gilmore Girls fans. So I think $69 to that audience is worth it. And I also think $69 is a smart number for him because it feels like the right ratio between not having to do a shitload, but also having a steady amount of them from hardcore Gilmore Girls fans.
See, I would agree with you on that. I think it's getting close to the right number. Here's my problem, is that the cameos that I see, that doesn't look like the guy from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, but it is.
This looks like a sex pest to me. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, if I'm paying $69 to have a hello from Roy Gilmore's dad, I want it to be Roy Gilmore.
No, that isn't what cameo's about. You're not being hired to play a role. He's not being hired to play Christopher.
No, but I mean, like, if I look at this and be like, oh, well, this isn't, like...
That's because you're cheap. That's because you're cheap. No, you're not paying for the character. You're paying for the actor.
No, but the only reason why I'm paying for this actor is because of the character.
Yeah, but you don't need him to play the character. You know it's David Sutcliffe.
I mean...
Do I? It doesn't look like him.
It does look like him. No, you're wrong. It does look like him.
He did hashtag
no, if I got
Gilmore
this...
Girls, you kind of want whatever perception of Gilmore.
But that's insane. You can't ask for a cameo from a person, and especially if you're only paying $69, and expect them to go to the effort to like look exactly like their character. What if he's doing a movie right now where he has to have long hair and a beard? You think because excuse me, sir, I'm paying almost $70. Could you please just quit the job you have right now where you have to have long hair and cut it for this role? This role
no,
I cast you in for $69.
No, he should be doing that for $40.
No, see, I think 50 is fair. My first guess, 50 is what I thought, but 69's funnier. So, and I think he'll get like he's got all 5-star reviews. So clearly, the hardcore Gilmore Girl fans who are getting cameos from him don't care that he has longer hair and a beard now and has aged. God forbid he's aged in the years since.
I didn't say anything about aging.
You guys all you said was he looked like shit. You said David Sutcliffe looks like shit now. He looks like garbage. You said you hate him. He's Trashman. He should change his name to David Trashman. You said. You're wrong.
You were the one that said that he was a dickhead to Luke.
He was, but that's a character. You seem to be unable to separate the character from the actor, Tim. So here's my question. If you hired the guy who played Worf on Star Trek to do a cameo, you would be pissed if he didn't wear the full Worf makeup?
No.
Then what is the difference? But he doesn't look like Worf. He doesn't look like Worf. Worf has makeup in the show and looks like a fucking Klingon.
I would. I absolutely would.
For $69.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
No, if he's getting I'm paying at least $150.
So I could see your point if David Sutcliffe was charging above $100, but for $69, he is David Sutcliffe. It is him, so he looks like David Sutcliffe, and that's what you're getting.
You know what? I just thought about this, and I don't know if this would be like a site breaker. Maybe this is why they don't do it. It's nice that Cameo has like one static fee for everything, but now I was just thinking, I wonder if Worf from Star Trek could put up a cameo for Worf for $50, like no, of the actor for $50, and then start another cameo for Worf.
That would be so smart.
So it's for like $150. So like you could
two
get
tiers, like two tiers.
Yeah, 2 tiers.
But how depressing would that like 2-3 days where you did nothing but wish people happy birthday while wearing that makeup bee. Like, I feel like there'd be a big surge of bee actor suicides after that happened. Like, you ever see, like, pictures of Comic-Con events and how depressed those actors usually look?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I mean, Worf is an extreme example because he's got to put all the makeup on. But I mean, I bet you any B actor on here says a line that they're known for in every single cameo.
Yeah, and
so they're
but
they're
you
playing
don't
the
know
character in the cameo anyway.
Well, this is an example. Like, we don't know if that's true, but I mean, I'm sure it is true. But that's such a different thing than having to modify your appearance and remain looking like a character you played decades ago just to justify making less than $70. He can't reverse time, Tim, is what I'm saying. He just can't. He just looks like how he looks now.
Yeah.
Garbage,
and if you're willing to pay $69, if you're willing to pay $69 for garbage, then
terrible. I apologize to David Sutcliffe, friend of the show, David Sutcliffe. So that's a no from you. You don't think it's worth it?
No, I don't think it's worth it.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
there we
that
go.
Was...
But now I know you're just a cameo. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Now I know you're just a cameo. Oh, oh, oh.
It's a frustrating segment. I'm sure we'll do it again next time.
That's right.
All right. So who is next week? Next week is a classic Tim pick, right?
Yeah, but we're also, should we do recommendations for?
Oh yeah. We should.
Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
Yeah, I'll start. So I mentioned it earlier, but if you want to watch Elijah Wood again, you can watch Wilfred. I've watched, I think, the first couple of seasons, and I really enjoyed it. I mentioned it earlier too. If you, it reminded me a lot of from Dusk Till Dawn, where it kind of pretended it was one movie at the beginning and then switched halfway through to a completely different movie, and I like that about this. You can watch that as well. Insha, recommendations?
So listen to the podcast Visitations that has like Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah on it, and they talk with like people who are around genre films and adjacent to it. Watch anything from Spectre Vision. Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah and Josh G's production company. So a girl walks.
They have a really dope title logo too.
Yeah.
The Spectre Vision logo is cool.
So like any movie like A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, Mandy, Daniel Isn't Real, and Maniac, the 2012 version, which is a remake of the 1980s version, starring Joe Spinell, who also rules.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael?
I would say if you want more Elijah Wood, see Maniac or Grand Piano. More Stephen McHattie, see Pontypool or A History of Violence. And more Michael Smiley, see The Kill List or Free Fire.
Or Comedy Bang Bang, the TV show.
Was he in an episode of that?
He plays the musical guy?
No,
the guy who plays the music?
Shut up. At first I was like, Kid Cudi? Because there have been like 4 band leaders in that. And Weird Al was only one of them.
Got it.
Yeah. So, next time,
yes.
it's a Tim pick.
Correct. We are going to be watching This Is Where I Leave You, which is a comedy drama starring Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, Adam Driver, and a bunch of other actors that I really like.
Very excited for Dan in Real Life too.
We're bringing it back, baby! Yeah, and Michael hasn't seen this one yet, right?
No.
That's right. I was looking through my backlog, and I have picked mostly only Insha hasn't seen picks, so I wanted to get a Michael pick. A Michael Newfer? What do we call those?
We're not calling that.
Michael Newfer.
We're not calling that anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I look forward to watching that.
Yeah, well, we can't talk about it anymore.
Well, presumably you like it, idiot.
Yep.
You could
Timothy
say...
Oliphant's in it.
I do like Timothy Oliphant.
And Catherine Hahn. She's really
Oh, she's so
Like
good.
Catherine Hahn. All right. Well, we'll see. Tune in next time to see if I get pissed.